Marco Rubio is a soulless prostitute who tried very, very hard during Obama's reign to be the new up and coming Latino Obama. He gives this speech after one of Barack Obama's speech, State of the Union, and it was the Republican response. He humiliated himself on the national stage, leans over, he's gulping water. It was a complete faceplant, but he's always wanted to have this type of power, but he's not that skilled of a politician. Here's what's so interesting about the MAGA regime to me is they're all white nationalists, even the brown-skinned ones, even the Latinos. Here's Marco Rubio at the Munich conference going full white nationalist. I want to remind you, viewer, he's Cuban.
Marco Rubio is an absolute star. The Secretary of State delivered a brilliant speech at the Munich Security Conference. It was warm, it was friendly, but there was a lot of tough love in his speech. While he was calling to revitalise an old friendship and renew the greatest civilization in human history, he clearly spelled out the dire consequences of mass migration and how it is failing the West.
Pursuit of a world without borders, we opened our doors to an unprecedented wave of mass migration that threatens the cohesion of our societies, the continuity of our culture, and the future of our people. We made these mistakes together.
He also noted the failures of the UN, criticising how it has played virtually no role in resolving current conflicts.
The United Nations still has tremendous potential to be a tool for good in the world. But we cannot ignore that today, on the most pressing matters before us, it has no answers and has played virtually no role. It could not solve the war in Gaza. Instead, it was American leadership that freed captives from barbarians and brought about a fragile truce. It has not solved the war in Ukraine. It took American leadership in partnership with many of the countries here today just to bring the two sides to the table in search of a still elusive peace. It was powerless to constrain the nuclear program of radical Shia clerics in Tehran. That required 14 bombs dropped with precision from American B-2 bombers. And it was unable to address the threat to our security from a narco-terrorist dictator in Venezuela. Instead, it took American special forces to bring this fugitive to justice.
Rubio also brilliantly articulated the importance of defending Western civilization, highlighting the deep bonds that America, Europe and Britain share, forged by shared history, faith, culture, heritage, language, and the sacrifices that have been made, and why we must defend our way of life.
The fundamental question we must answer at the outset is, what exactly are we defending? Because armies do not fight for abstractions. Armies fight for a people. Armies fight for a nation. Armies fight for a way of life. And that is what we are defending. A great civilization that has every reason to be proud of its history.
One woman who thought it was hilarious to watch a protester celebrate Charlie Kirk's death is the charming Jennifer Welch. And she's now using her podcast, her platform, to push deranged conspiracy theories about the president. Here is Jennifer Welch on her podcast, I've Had It, insisting that Trump's assassination attempt back in Butler was all staged.
Obviously, a lot of people are late to the party on this. A lot of people during the last presidential campaign got intoxicated by Trump's campaign. They got intoxicated by the fight, fight, fight photo, which I'm now going to go on the permanent record. I think he totally staged the assassination. I've watched it. I think he staged it. They lowered the flag. They let the press go in. I think he staged the whole thing. That's just my opinion. Maybe I'm going blue or not. I don't care.
CJ, can I get your reaction to this?
That woman is unwell. Unwell. Like, I mean, when I think about the name of her show, I've had it. I don't know if she's talking about she's had Sauvignon Blanc, a little bit of Cab, and maybe some Don Julio tequila right before recording, because every single time she opens her mouth, she wants to bring up intoxication. I think she's intoxicated every single time she speaks and she talks. The fact that this is a woman who is allowed to go on CNN almost every other night to spar with Scott Jennings, and we're supposed to treat her as a legitimate intellectual or legitimate political commentator as she spreads conspiracy theories about the attempted assassination of the leader of the free world. Give me a break. If a Republican did the same thing about any Democrat who's a victim of brazen political violence, they would be canceled. Their career would be over. We would not treat them as a legitimate political personality and or voice. When will we hold this woman to that same standard? I'm waiting on that.
You are exactly right, CJ. I couldn't have said it better myself.